this you know PPT material. Sorry, this PDF one. Okay, this notes one. This is given in little detail. Okay, so let us look into this. Okay, okay. Then, so let us continue this. String handling instructions. Okay, so what is a string handling instructions? 86 processor is equipped with special instructions to handle the string operation. Okay. Guess what do you mean by strings? By string, we mean a series of data, words, or bytes. Okay, so that's the meaning of a strings. Okay, series of bytes or words is called as a string. Okay, yes. The thing is, when we say different data types, for example, integer, character, they are fixed size. For example, one character, one byte, one let's say one integer, 2 bytes. Okay, strings is not like that. It is a series of data, words, or bytes, multiple bytes in my generally. Okay, that reside in consecutive memory location. That is very important. Okay, it cannot be in some random location. It should be in a consecutive memory location. Then only we can consider that as a string. The string, sorry. The string instructions of 86 permit programmer to implement operations such as move data, that is transfer data from one block of memory to another block of memory. Okay, that is blockwise. It is a transfer in terms of blockwise. Okay, continuous blockwise data transfer. Second type of operation in this string operation is that no, that it easily performs to scan string and data elements stored in memory looking for a specific value. Okay, that is string search basically. Okay, scan a string and data elements means we are searching the strings or series of data to match with another strings or a data. So guys, one is movement of data, another one is scan of string and data to look for a particular byte or a string in the given set of data. Other operations include comparing the elements and two strings. That's comparison of multiple strings together in order to determine whether they are same or different. Okay. So one is movement of data, searching of data, and comparing of data. So these three operations we perform using string handling instructions. Let us start with the transfer of data or movement of data, moving of data. Two possibilities. We can move single byte of data or single word of data. Okay, so move sb is used to transfer 1 byte of data. Move sw for multiple bytes. There is word data transfer. Okay, so this is byte wise data transfer, this is word wise data transfer. So an element of the string specified by the source index register with respect to the same the element which is referred using source index with respect to data segment register is moved to the location specified by the data index register with respect to extra segment. Okay, yes, the meaning of this is, let's just a minute. I'll open notepad, just a minute. Okay, so that means SI and DS, the source index and data segments are used together. Let me remove this. Okay, there is source index, data segment, and source index points to the source of data. Okay, whereas extra segment and data index points to the destination of data. Okay, so thereby this source index is used to point to the data stored in the data segment in the memory. Data, as the name suggests, destination index is used to point to the data stored in the extra segment register. Okay, so when we use move instruction, we are moving the data from data segment to extra segment, which are pointed by source index as well as destination index respectively at data segment as well as extra segment. Okay, so that's the meaning of this. The move can be performed on a byte of data or a word of data. So after the move is complete, the content of both SI and DI are automatically incremented or decremented by 1. Okay, for byte of data, and decremented and incremented by 2 for word of data. Okay, if it is if it involves in movement of byte of data, then it will increment or decrement by 1, or if it is word of data, it will increment or decrement by 2. Okay, so how does the processor knows it is 1 or 2? It depends on the the size of the data. Byte data increment by 1, word data increment by 2. Okay, in which direction is it increment or decrement? That depends on the what is known as direction flag. Okay, so we know that direction flag is part of the flag register. So if df flag is 0, it is increment. If df flag is 1, it is going to be decrement. Okay, so block move program using okay, there's one simple example case. Let us quickly look into this. Okay, so what is the idea here is we are transferring the data segment address. There is a base address is stored in AX, that is loaded into DS as well as extra segment. Okay, so this is the data segment register and extra segment register. So which is loaded with the content of AX. What is the AX? By the way, data segment address. Okay, so the base address of the data. Okay, now the reference or jump address, the relative address. So for example, block 1 address is loaded into source index because you have to move the data from data segment to extra segment. Data segment is pointed by source index. Okay, the destination of the data is in the extra segment, which is pointed by data destination index register. So to that, we are going to load the destination address. That is block. Why it is called as block is because we are dealing with multiple bytes or multiple words. That's why it is called as a block of data. Okay. So because of for block of data, we have a block address. So that's why it is represented as block address. Okay. So because it means multiple bytes or multiple words. Okay. Yes. Now, so now we have a counter n. Okay. So where n is indicates the number of bytes or words. Okay. CDF. This CDF instruction will check the content of DF. Okay. If it is DF, it's going to increment, or if the DF is 1, it's going to decrement. Which is going to increment? SI and DI is going to increment, or SI and DI is going to decrement based on the condition of DF. Okay. Now, yes, to transfer the data, we have to move the data from the data segment to extra segment. Okay. So for that, we use the instruction move SB. SB stands for single byte. So it will transfer byte by byte. Each data transfer, each time the data byte is transferred, SA and DA is incremented or decremented by 1, depending on condition of DF. Okay. So repeat this loop till this counter becomes 0. This counter becomes 0. Till that counter becomes 0, repeat this loop. That means we have transferred a number of bytes or words. Then we can halt the execution of the program. Just like end in the 8051, we have HLT for halt function. Okay. So that's how it is. So next is so this was move transfer. Move means data transfer from one location to another location. Okay. Now there is another set of data transfer instructions called as load and store instructions. Okay. So what is this load and store instruction? This load and store instruction basically loads the data from memory to register or from register to memory. Okay, that's a basic difference. Let us understand the different types of instructions. Load single byte. Load single byte or single word. Similarly, store single byte or single word. Okay. So first, let us start with the load single byte. Load a byte of data from a string in memory location into AL. Okay, there is string of data is stored in the memory location. From that memory location, we are going to load 1 byte into AL. There is accumulator register whose size is 8-bit. The address in SI is used as a relative address along with data segment register, content of data segment register, which stores the base address to determine the address of the memory location of the string segment. Okay, that is to find the source of data, that is memory location. The content of DS and SI is added. Before DS is added to SI, DS is appended with 0 at the lower side, lower nibble side, or LSB side, and the size of the DS after loading 0 will be 20-bit. So this will be added to content of source index register. whose size is 16 bit. It will generate a 20-bit address. So from that address in the memory, the data will be transferred into EL. Okay, and since it is a single byte of data transfer, SI is incremented by 1. Okay, is it increment or decrement? That depends on the data flag. Okay, it is not specified here. It depends on the data flag, increment or decrement, but it is going to increment or decrement by 1 because it deals with the single byte data transfer operation. Okay, similarly load SW, guess what is the only difference? So it will load the word of string from memory to AX register, because size of AX is 16 bit. So for word we need 16 bit register. So for 8 bit it is AL, there is lower byte of a AX register. For word load operation it is AX whose size is 16 bit. Okay, so this SI should increment or decrement by 2 because it is dealing with 16-bit data. Okay. So next, store operation, store single byte, store a byte from AL register. There is now see in these two cases, the source is memory location, destination is accumulator. For 8-bit data, AL is the destination. There is a lower byte of accumulator. For 16-bit data, AX is the destination. There is 16-bit in size. Okay, whereas for store operation, the source is accumulator and the destination is memory location. Okay. For 8-bit data, the source is AL. For 16-bit data, the source is EX. So this time the contents. Okay. Now the destination is in extra segment register. Okay. For extra segment register, the data should be loaded to extra segment register. The location is identified using the combination of extra segment register and what is known as data index registers. Okay. So with this equation, we can understand that the source of data is AL if it is 8-bit data, and the destination is address is calculated using adding the content of extra segment register and destination register, which gives 20-bit address. In this location in the extra segment, the data from the EL lower byte of the AX register is stored, and the DI is incremented or decremented by 1 because it is dealing with single byte of data. Okay, increment or decrement again depends on the DF flag of a flag register, direction flag basically. Okay, STO is W, that is a store single word. Again, the destination is extra segment register pointed by ES and DI. The source is EX because we are dealing with 16-bit of data. Okay, DI is incremented decremented by 2. Okay, because it is dealing with 16-bit of data. It's simple, the summary: move SB instruction, move SW. Okay, so as you can observe that none of the flags are affected in these operations. Okay, it is only the data transfer. Thank you. When you are done. Thank you. Yes, okay. So that's about to load and store operation. Okay, there's one more example. Quickly we'll go through the rest through this program. It's very simple. Okay, clearing a block of memory with store operation. What do you mean by clearing a block of memory? Load zeros so that the location becomes the memory location becomes 0. First, load AX with 0. Okay, so all the bits of AX are 0. Next, copy 0 to DS register, which acts as a base register. Copy the same AX to extra segment register. Okay, now we need to clear the location in the the extra segment memory. Then load the address of the extra segment memory from where we have to clear the memory. Okay, so this offset address is loaded into data destination index register. Okay, how many blocks we have to clear? 16 blocks. 0F means 15. 0 to F, total number of locations is 16. Okay, CX register acts as a counter. It's just like in our 8051 we used to do this, right? It's for example, I'll take one simple example. Move R0 comma hash let us say 05 for example, DJNZ R0 comma loop for example. Okay, so loop is somewhere here, let us say for example. Okay, so what is the purpose of R0 here? R0 acts as a R0 acts as a counter. R0 is a counter. Okay. Similarly, the 8086 provides a standard counter register called as CX register. Instead of using a random register, just like in 8051, 8086 provides a register called as CX for counting operation. So how many times we have to count? 15 times. That is F is 15, but starting from 0 it is total number of time counted is 16. Okay. So uh, so this is used to check the DF flag, whether we have to increment or decrement the DF register based on the condition of DF. To check a DF flag, we use the instruction CDF. Okay, guess we'll discuss this a little later. Okay, we'll have a discussion on this. Okay, now store the data. Yes, from where to where we are going to store the data. As we understood that store operation is always from register to memory location. Yes, correct, from register to memory location. So thereby we are storing the data from register AX to the memory location pointed by ES register plus DI. Okay. So what is the content of AX by the way? 0. Okay. So we have 0 in the data. 0 is the data. So for these 16 locations, we are going to load 0. And then starting from the address A000H up to A00FH, there is 16 locations is loaded with 0. Okay, that is we are clearing the block of memory using store instruction. Okay, how to repeat this store instruction? You use a loop instruction. Okay, loop again run. I'll explain this NE again. This NE is for loop operation, which depends on the condition. I'll discuss this. During jump instruction, we'll discuss NE. Okay, NE operation. So loop NE again. So this instruction is executed till the content of CF flag becomes 0. Okay. So till the content of CF is 0, this loop is executed. Okay. So thereby we are clearing the content of locations in extra segment to 0 by using store operation. Okay. Yes. Now next is we need to repeat some set of instructions. Okay. So how do we repeat in 8051? Let us say I want to repeat some set of instruction. I use a loop, correct? So this loop helps in repeating some n number of instructions. Okay, we call this as a subroutine. Basically, this is nothing but subroutines. Okay, we can have a subroutine instruction in 8051, which is used exclusively for string operation. Okay, so it is called as repeat operation, REP. Keyword is REP. So the basic string operation must be repeated to process arrays of data. Yes, why separate repeat operation is because array of string of data means it's always set of data. I mean multi-byte data. Okay. So in such case, if you want to repeat it, we need to we need to repeat the operation of transfer of data or some processing of data stored in the memory location. So that in such case we have to repeat the instruction. We use REP instruction. Okay. So now, so how this REP instruction is used? Let us understand. Okay, so this is done by inserting a repeat prefix before the instruction that is to be repeated. Whichever instruction to be repeated, we use the prefix REP. Okay, so this REP causes the basic string operation to be repeated until the content of CX is becomes 0. The counter, the default counter is always CX. Okay, so CX acts as a counter variable till the content of CX becomes 0. This instruction is repeated using the instruction REP. Okay, so each time the instruction is executed, it causes CX to be tested for 0. Each time the instruction is similar to this one. Each time the instruction is executed, CFX checked, CX is checked. If it is 0, it will stop the execution of the program. Okay, so similarly, CX is checked for 0. If it is 0, it will come out of the loop. So it is if not 0, if non-zero, it is decremented by 1, and the basic operation is repeated. Okay, fine. So let us check a simple program, guys. Clearing a block of memory, repeating this operation. Okay, that is store single byte operation. Same operation, same procedure. 0 to AX to ES, extra segment. So if extra segment is 0, that is then the base address is 0000 in the extra segment register. The reference from 0000 will take a jump to the location. Yes, it's something like this. I'll explain here. For if ES is 0, then that is 0000. Size of ES is this 16 bit. Okay, so that is 2 byte basically, correct? 2 byte. Okay, then we are giving data destination index register. If the destination index register is 0A00, okay, that is A means that is this is 8 bit, no? Okay, A0, that is okay. I'll write like this instead of binary numbers. I'll write the normal hexadecimal numbers 0000H. Okay, so destination index register content is A000H. Okay, so what is the content of what is the address of the data, guys? It is ES plus DI. Okay, so there is nothing but ES is appended with 0. That means it becomes 00000 plus A000H. Okay, so the physical address becomes 0A0000H. Okay, so the size of this address is 20 bit. 20 bit address. 20 bit address. Okay, so that's how 20 bit address is being generated here. So load A0000 to DI. Create one what you call a counter variable, that is load 0. This is not OF. It looks like OF. It's not OF. It is 0F. 0F to CX. That means we are going to clear 16 locations by loading 0F to CX register. CDF content, check the content of DF flag. If it is 0 or 1, that will decide whether DA is incremented or decremented. Okay, yes, this we did in the previous program. Okay, what we did was store from memory single byte instruction. Repeat this line continuously till the CX becomes 0. Here we use a REP instruction. What does the instead of two instruction we use single instruction REP? What does this? It will repeat this instruction execution till CX is not equal to 0. Once CX becomes equal to 0, it will come out of the loop. Yes, okay. So that is the purpose of REP instruction. Okay. So REP instruction is used only for the string operation. We don't use it for some other addition or subtraction operation. It is used only for the string operation. Okay. So the prefix REP, there is different possibility of REP instruction. REP and REPZ stands for the same function. That does the same job. They are meant for use with the compare instruction and SCAS instructions. Okay, so we'll discuss this SCAS at a later stage. With REP and REPZ instructions, the basic compare or scan operation can be repeated as long as both the contents of CX are not equal to 0 and 0 flag is set to 1. Okay, yes, that means for comparison operation and scan operation, we use sorry, we use this REP instruction. We can use either REP instruction or REPZ instruction. That does the same job. Okay. So the other possibility is that REP NE and REP there is not equal and non-zero. Okay. So these two instructions work similar to REP and REPZ instruction, except that the operation is repeated as long as CX is 0, CX is not equal to 0, as well as 0 flag is equal to 0. Because this REP instruction, REPZ instruction does not check the condition of 0 flag. Okay. Whereas this REPE and sorry, not REP, REPNE and REPNZ instruction not only check CX register because CX do not be equal to 0 for the these two instruction to work. Not only that, it will also check zero flag. Okay, in addition to that, it will also check zero flag. Okay, that is the meaning of this. Repeat not zero. That means till zero flag is zero, repeat the instruction, and till CX flag is not set to zero, repeat the instruction. Okay, so there is a separate set of instructions. This 8086 gives more instruction, because it's a, as I told in the earlier class, it's a CISC processor. So there is a lot of instruction. First of all, we don't have any repeat kind of instruction in 8051. We use a loop as a repeat instruction, correct? So there is a case in 8051, but 8086 has separate set of instruction for all the operations. Okay. So this is used for comparison and scanning purpose. Uh, as long as the string elements are unequal. Okay, there is as long as both the elements are unequal, there is zero, which is indicated by zero flag. The repeat operation is performed. Okay, so to check whether both the elements are equal or not, we make use of zero flags. And end of string is not yet found. There is end of string means till the counter is zero, we are going to repeat the operation. Okay, so the summary of REP instruction. REP is used with MOVS and STOS. There is MOVS for move string, STOS for store string. Repeat will not end of string. That is until CX is not equal to zero. Once CX becomes zero, it will come out of the program. Okay, so repeat equal and repeat 0 is used along with the compare and scan operation. Okay, so this is repeated uh, till CX is not equal to 0 and 0 flag is set to 1. Okay, whereas for these two instructions, REP NE and REP NZ, which is used for compare operation and scan operation, the only difference is that this will be say similar to these two instructions, but the only thing is that 0 flag should be equal to 0. Okay, that is, this instruction will execute till 0 flag is set to 0. Okay, because it is doing the comparison operation also. And both the characters, if both the strings, if they are not equal during comparison operation, then 0 flag will be set to 0. Okay, so it will check the condition of 0 flag. Okay. Okay, moves block of 32 consecutive bytes of memory. Okay, yes, let us look into auto indexing of first string operation. That is how the indexing is performed. Okay, that is whether it is incremented or decremented. Okay, so let us understand the DF flag. Okay, SI and DI addresses are either automatically, that's content of SI and DI are automatically incremented or decremented. Okay, based on the settings of the DF flag, that is direction flag. Okay, so to clear this flag, we can use a inbuilt instruction CLD clear direction flag. Okay, the content of DF becomes 0. This will permit auto increment operation. That is, if DF is 0, SI and DI will be automatically incremented. Okay, whereas if DF flag is set to 1, SI and DF flags are automatically decremented each time when we perform the data transfer string operation. Okay, that is, for example, in this case, we are performing the store operation. So each time the store operation is performed, and if CX is not equal to 0, then this SI and DA are either incremented or decremented depending on the condition of DF flag. If DF flag is 0, DA and SI is incremented. If DF flag is set to 1, SI and DA will be automatically decremented. Okay, so thereby, yeah. So when this, let's say, for example, if the DF flag is set to 1, how to set the DF flag to 1? Set direction flag is STD is executed. DF flag is set to 1. When DF flag is set to 1, it will automatically decrement. That is, content of SA and DA will be automatically decremented by 1 value. Okay. So this is the summary of this. So the flag used is DF flag. Okay. Now another set of instructions is what is known as load and store instructions. Okay. So what loads load LDS instruction will load the content of data from memory location to register. Okay. Um, so now in this case, the register used will be the CPU registers. along with data segment register. Okay, and the data will be copied from memory location. So this instruction copies word from two memory locations into register specified in the instruction. Why two memory location? Because one location can store 8-bit of data. Okay. So to copy a word of data, it has to copy from two memory locations. Okay. So it will copy from two memory locations and it will load into the into the location. Okay. Okay. So to understand this memory, okay, let me just quickly discuss this. No, just a minute. Let me open one Excel sheet. Just give me a minute. I'll discuss this memory thing. I thought I'll discuss later, but this is the right time to discuss. Just a minute. I want this Excel sheet to be open so that I can discuss with the the table. I can create a table in Excel sheet so that it is easy to indicate. Okay. Yes. Now let us say this is the memory. So let us say this is the memory. I'll take a few locations so that we can clearly observe. Okay. So let me create a table. Okay, fine. Now let us say the address is this. What is the size of the address? 886 20-bit address. Okay. So let us say this is 00000H. That is, let me zoom in so that you can comfortably do this. Okay. Yeah. So further zoom, is it possible? Yes, we can do this. Okay. Yeah. So sorry, this is the first address. Let us say the last address of the memory is FF Okay. So the size of the address is 20-bit. Now let us say, um, so how many locations guys? Totally 1 megabyte locations. 1 megabyte locations. Okay, yes, what is this 1 megabyte locations? 1 into 10 power 6 locations. And what is the meaning of byte? Each location can store a byte of data. Each location can store a byte of data. Okay, each location can store a byte of data. Now, let us say this location address is, for example, I'll take one example. Let us say 01000H, for example. Okay. Then this 01000H location identifies a byte location. Okay. Let us say I want to read word of data. Then what is the processor does is it will automatically increment to the next location. That is, it will go to the next location whose address is 0100001H, where the another byte is stored. Let me call this as byte one. Oh, sorry, byte one. Yes, I'm sorry. Byte one, and let us call this as byte two, for example. Okay. Now, if you want to read only one byte, you can read from location 0100H location. If you want to read word data from location 01000H location, then the processor will read these two bytes. Okay. So there is byte 2, okay, and byte 1 provides one word of data. One word of data. Okay. So byte 2 and byte 1 together gives one word of data. Okay, so this address, always one address means it's only one byte of data, because it can store only, just like 8051, it can store only one byte of data, but the number of locations is very high. Yes, compared to the 805 microprocessor base, 805 microcontroller, for example, let us say this is 886 processor, for example, 886 processor. In 8051 controller, what happens is that we have a memory. For example, let us say we have, let us say I'm discussing ROM memory, for example. Okay, so I'll create one table here. What is the starting address is 0000H, and what is the last address? Last address of the internal ROM location. That is, let me assume that it is 64 kilobyte, for example. Just for our discussion purpose, let us say it is the size of the internal ROM location is 64 kilobytes. Then, okay, each location can store 1 byte of data. Last address will be FFFFH. FFFFH. Okay. So each location can store 1 byte of data. Each location can store 1 byte of data. Now, but the only difference here is that the number of location is only 65,536. 536 number of byte locations in 8051 microcontroller. There is this, usually this will not be the case. They'll go for only 4,000 locations. Is correct? 4 kilobytes of locations in 8051. Okay. Whereas 8086 can provide 1 megabyte of location because it is 20-bit address. This is only 16-bit address. That means 2 power 16 is only 64 kilobytes. 64 kilobytes. Whereas here it is 2 power 20, 1 megabyte of location. 1 megabyte of locations. 1 megabyte of locations. Okay. So number of data stored in the memory will be very large because the address size is also larger. Okay. So there's a difference. Okay. So this is the basic difference between the memory and the number of locations in the memory. The 8086 also store 1 byte of data in one location. For example, 8051, let's say the address is 1000H, it can store only 1 byte. Similarly, 8086 can also store 1 byte. 8051 we cannot read 2 bytes because 2 bytes will not give one word in 8051 because it's a 8-bit processor. 8086 processor, 16-bit processor, it can identify one word of data. Let's also observe that this lower byte, there is byte 1 is always stored in the even address, whereas upper byte of a word is always stored in the odd address. This discussion, I'll take up again when we discuss the memory. Okay, I'll continue with this. Another 30 seconds left, please. I'll continue the discussion on the memory. We'll continue the discussion on the, what you call string instructions also. Yes, okay. Yes, thanks for joining. See you in the next class.